Well, good day, my friends. It's your old pal Jordan the Lion, your old pal the Joster, and we are headed to New York today. Daze with Jordan the Lion. It begins right now. Our co-pilot's been taking a little siesta this morning. All right, Jamestown, next 3 exits. That's where we're headed the next couple of vlogs. All right, let's go have some fun. I know this may seem a little bit crazy, but as excited as I am to explore Lucy's history in Jamestown, I was just as excited to come see the National Comedy Center. They have some really, really amazing memorabilia on display in here. Right before you go in, they have a picture of Lucy and it says she had a vision of her hometown, Jamestown, New York, to become a destination for the celebration of art of comedy in a way that would educate, foster, and inspire. There we go. This should be exciting. I already see Carl Reiner. I want to check out. They have a Johnny Carson hologram experience. Little 6-minute show in the Johnny Carson Theater. And here's Johnny.
Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. I actually had a couple of minutes before tonight's taping, and I was just going to finish up a couple of items on my to-do list.
Seer, sage, soothsayer, and former tax advisor to Governor Reagan.
Was having so much fun.
So get out there, troops, and sell those cookies. Floyd R. Turbo, American.
So I've been in here for a while. I never have seen a hologram of Johnny, just that one we saw of Jimmy Fallon. So we're gonna move on. They just start showing clips in here basically, and then they have his curtain back there. But as soon as you exit the theater, it's pretty cool because they have quotes from various people that were on Johnny's show and what they thought of Johnny. Don Rickles, Johnny always made me look good. That was in his nature to always make his guests look their best. Jimmy Walker, my goal was to be on the Johnny Carson show. Your goal is always to be on the Johnny Carson show. There's nothing more important, nothing more relevant. And then down here, they have Johnny's Rolodex cards of different comedians he would call to be on the show. Jay Leno, Red Fox, Mel Brooks, and you notice he has dates next to it of when they were on the show. Lucille Ball, David Letterman, Betty White. Oh, I wonder if they have Shelley's. Bob Hope, holy moly. Roseanne. Nope, haven't seen Shelley winners. Now let's see what kind of memorabilia they have on display. Oh, awesome, they have Johnny's costumes. Floyd R. Turbo, coat and hat. That flannel and the hat right over there. And a picture of him wearing it. Those characters he would do on the show. And then over here's Art Fern. A crazy salesman with the cane or that stick that he would always whip. There's the mustache and fake hair. That's awesome. And then that is Doc Severin's suit jacket, the one that kind of looks like Beetlejuice. I don't know if he was trying to or not, but playing trumpet originally in Skitch Henderson's original Tonight Show band before ascending to the role of music director himself. Doc was in many ways the soul of the show, with his big band arrangements and trumpet playing becoming synonymous with what would we now recognize as the iconic Tonight Show sound. 25 years, Doc was a constant presence on the American television. And here's the Bette Midler outfit that she wore on the show. His final show, or her final guest appearance. I think she was the final guest is what I'm saying. And Doc's bandstand. Then they have some of Johnny's monologue over here. Now this is really amazing. First off, we have Lucy's really iconic polka dot dress from the I Love Lucy show. I mean, that you can't get almost any more iconic on television. That is so cool to see. You know, it was like it was almost career roulette doing television back then, because if you were on a TV show in the early days of television and it wasn't successful, a lot of times you didn't work again. If you were a movie star, you didn't work again. They didn't want you back in the movies. And then right there they have the Buddy Love jacket that Jerry Lewis wore in The Nutty Professor. And Charlie Chaplin's cane right here. How cool is that? The Tramp's cane and the Buddy Love jacket. And then right over here we have the famous Axel Foley shirt and jacket, the Lions jacket, Beverly Hills Cop, 1984. Probably had a couple of those jackets and everything, but it's really cool to see one of them. That's a really classic movie. And I think now they're actually making Beverly Hills Cop 4 right now. And then they have Richard Pryor's robe from Harlem Nights. Sugar Ray robe. Now this is actually one of the main things that I came to see, the Andy Kaufman case. Look, they have his World Intergender Championship belt. I mean, a lot of people, Jerry Lawler says Andy really was like, he was a savior for wrestling. Him doing his wanting to wrestle women bit really put it into the mainstream, got him on the Letterman show and everything, and really gave wrestling a huge bump. So it's so cool. Look at these photo booth photos of Andy. I'm a huge Andy Kaufman fan. Huge. And they have a copy of the letter that Andy wrote to Elvis. A Xerox of it. How cool is that? Dear Mr. Presley, February 1969. Now this says that he wrote this on his 13th birthday, and this was his last will and testament. Wrote it on the eve of his 13th birthday, 1962. I would like all my belongings, Andy Jeffrey Kaufman, including money and possessions, to be divided in this way. Wow, that's really cool that they have that. I'm really blown away by the belt though. That is ridiculous. And then look, this says this was a handwritten resume when he was 24 years old in 1973. He kind of writes like a kid in a way. And then his pass to The Tonight Show and a Do Not Disturb sign for before the show. That's very cool. And his Elvis jacket. They actually have a photo of him wearing it. Andy Kaufman's boundary pushing creativity straddled the line between comedy and performance art. And there he is wearing it. Now this was when he was wearing a two-piece instead of like a whole jumpsuit. That is amazing to see. I think Andy Kaufman was amazing. I know a lot of people found him very obnoxious, but the obnoxiousness in some ways was what kind of made him genius, was the pushing the boundaries of everyone until they didn't know what was real and what wasn't. Now, very appropriately, they have an entire room to George Carlin, which I would have never guessed, and love that they've done this. I love George Carlin. You almost never see his memorabilia anywhere. And I believe he wore that in his special. One of his specials. Obviously, he had a ton of them.
Gun store owners are given a list of stolen credit cards.
Look at those pants.
A list of criminals and maniacs.
The bell bottoms.
And now they're thinking about
that's great.
Guns, and they're going to keep them.
There it is. Right there, he's wearing that outfit we just saw. You can see the striped shirt and how it buttons up right there, and then the smiley face on the knee and all that embroidered at the bottom. See, there's the striped shirt, the smiley face on the knee right there.
But I don't care, because they're not aware, nor are they debonair.
And those designs at the bottom of the bell bottoms. Wow, his file of all of his ideas. You can see miracles, says cups for shows, Carson, probably categorizing bits and things that he's used back here. Religious scams, sex women, 1960s material, religious clippings, word clippings. Yeah, just things he would write his jokes based off of. That's really neat. And they have a couple of stacks of those. Here they have some of his set list ideas and monologues.
Kind of a more serious writer voice in me. On the shows that came in the 90s, there's more.
Here's his star on the Walk of Fame and a picture of him with Groucho Marx.
Changing the fabric of society. Religion has actually convinced.
I actually liked George Carlin when I was a kid. I saw one of his specials on HBO when I definitely should not have. And then he had a TV show on Fox, and I went to New York when I was in high school and saw him. He walked right past me by the Russian tea room. He walked right out of the building, walked right past me. Oh, that's cool. That's how he found out he won Comedy Album of the Year.
Languages are stock and trade. You really.
In this case is for the Smothers Brothers. They have the bass and the jackets they wore for the Smothers Brothers show, who incidentally had a writer, a couple of writers that were well known, Bob Einstein and Steve Martin. Bob Einstein was Super Dave Osborne. And that's them wearing those jackets and playing those instruments. Seinfeld's puffy shirt and his Emmy. That was a really famous episode. Jerry gets conned into wearing this shirt by someone dating in the group, and he doesn't want to wear it, but he's kind of forced to wear it. Kramer's like, you promised her you'd wear it. You have to wear it. The puffy shirt. That's so great. I knew that was here too. I was looking forward to seeing that. And this case is dedicated to Joan Rivers. Her necklace here. It's very interesting. You can see her wearing it right there. And then this right here is her early stand-up routine that she wrote at the age of 22, where she's saying, "Hello, my name's Joan Rivers. I'm 22, blonde usually, and I live by the immortal words of Gertrude Stein, who when a very young Ernest Hemingway summoned all his courage up, literary tea, and asked her, Miss Stein, what is the answer? What is the answer?" She replied, "That is, what is the question?" There's one of her scarves, and then her Fashion Police coffee mug from the set from 2010. Here's a list of a bunch of her one-liners that she would use. Here they have an amazing wall of the history of humor, even including Mad Magazine, and Spinal Tap. But check this out. They have a Golden Girls case. Rose's St. Olaf sweater. Oh my gosh, my grandma, my entire family, my girlfriend, they'd be losing their mind right now. Rose Nyland's St. Olaf sweater. She wore this on the Golden Palace, not on the Golden Girls, unfortunately, but that's really cool to see. They have a picture of her wearing it right there. And the purple gown back there, the lavender gown, is what she accepted her Emmy Award in 1986 for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Comedy Series, which I think B. Arthur was pretty mad about that, if I remember right. And then the blue tracksuit she wore on Hot in Cleveland. And then they actually have a handful of her Emmys. So this is just all Betty White in this case. Look at all those Emmys, 5 Emmys. That was really cool to have a display to her. And here's a cartoon room honoring great cartoons like Popeye. And I love Dennis the Menace. That was a great show. Some Disney. Of course, the Flintstones. Brad Anderson, the creator of the long-running Marmaduke comic strip, was born in Jamestown in 1924. He created Marmaduke, tells the story of a lovable Great Dane and his family, the Winslows. So these were items gathered by his family from his studio and arranged to show how he would work.
Cinema, television, media.
How neat is that?
Predicated on something called comic strips.
And there's his art table.
Comic strips were the first Ziggy. When I was little, I felt like Ziggy.
Of course, you have to acknowledge Dilbert and The Far Side. Those are both great. Now let's see what we have in here. I'm seeing radios. I don't know if they're historic or they're just telling the story of comedy through radio. Of course, Lucy was big on the radio in her day. And then over here in these cases, they have some comedic movie stuff. They have Jack Black's Dewey Finn outfit from School of Rock, which was a great movie. And then Ron Burgundy, the entire outfit. He's kind of a big deal from Anchorman. And then they have Tiffany Haddish's Dina jacket from Girls Trip, which I have not seen. And then over here they have the Zoolander outfit from 2001 that Ben Stiller wore in Zoolander, of course. And then over here they have Will Ferrell's Zoolander back there. And Owen Wilson's from Zoolander. So that's a whole Zoolander case. And this case is actually dedicated to Shelley Berman. I didn't think I'd see anything Shelley here, but this is great. They have his stool and gold record from the 1960s. And a telegram. Comedian Mort Saul urges Shelley Berman to make an album after seeing one of his early stand-up performances. And he got a gold record for it. And there's his Rolodex and traveling case. And then over here they have all kinds of different things you can watch. You can pick different comedians and you can watch things just on them. So it's very interactive. What do we have over here? Oh, stuff from Cheers, costumes from Cheers. Let's take a look. We have Carla's wardrobe over here. That's definitely Carla. And that's got to be Sam's Red Sox jacket. And then over here we have Cliff Clavin's mail carrier outfit. His costume, I should say. And Frasier's on-air microphone and sign. And Frasier's costume from the show Frasier.
Hello, this is Roseanne.
And then over here in this case, it's a little tricky to show you because of the reflections, but it's the Eddie Murphy Professor Clump suit from Nutty Professor.
Hey, we know you're there. Why don't you write a check and then I'll cover
There,
it on
you can. I hope you can see it through there. You can see him wearing it in this. Yeah, unfortunately, with the lighting situation here, this is kind of the best I could do to show you that. Professor Clump. That was a good movie also. Wow, even Grumpy Cat made it into the Comedy Center. Oh, I see Homie the Clown from Living Color on TV. Let's see what they have down here. Oh my God, Scott Michaels will lose his mind when he sees this vlog. They have an actual part of the background from Laugh-In. Groundbreaking Rowan and Martin Laugh-In introduced the style of chaotic political fearlessness and humor still popular today. Very cool to see that. And they have a photo of the cast, including Goldie, in front of that backdrop. Sock it to me, sock it to me. Ooh, check this out. Here we go. We have the, this looks like this was the Coneheads motorcycle without the sidecar that Dan Aykroyd rides in the movie, which I love the movie. It's really cool to see. They have pictures of some of the great early cast members, including the Coneheads up there, and then they have the Conehead helmets from the movie. I can just hear that song right now.
It was a delicious combination.
Paul Simon singing. Here's the helmets, and then they have Wayne's World, Garth's shirt, and Wayne's hat. How appropriate.
Regular programming.
That is super killer. Here's Dana Carvey. He could actually play those drums. That was so cool to see. And then Mike Myers' hat from the movie. I loved Wayne's World. That's so cool to see. And so cool to see the helmets. Some fan mail to Rosanna Dana. Ah! It's the Larry Sanders Show, starring Larry Sanders. And I'm Hank Kingsley. Hey now. Oh man, that is so cool. They have Gary Shandling's set. Oh my, I am such a huge Larry Sanders Show. If you've never watched it, go watch it. It's still funny. It's amazing. Wow, the people that he had on that show, it was pretty amazing. The comedy was amazing. I used to stay up super late in the summers just to watch the Larry Sanders Show because I think it came on at like midnight. It was unbelievable. Some of the episodes with David Duchovny, and for all you Judd Apatow fans, he used to write for Larry. He owes a lot. I mean, I know he made the documentary and everything, but he really has said he owes a lot to Gary Shandling for this show, for the Larry Sanders Show. If you look, you can see there's some damage to the seat there, and looks like there's some damage to his seat as well. And then it looks like somebody put a sticker or something over here they weren't able to get off. That is so cool to see. I don't know what more they can show me to wow me now. I love that kind of stuff. What do we have over here? Ernie Kovac's makeup kit and prop face prosthetic stuff. See his mustache there. Personal makeup kit with Stein's white grease paint. And his glasses there from 1950. And here's Ernie Kovac's posthumous Emmy Award, Outstanding Achievement in Electronic Camera Work for 1962. Then they have also his soup can inverter and his customized cigar box over here, his name on it. And there's Ernie on the cover of Life magazine. Here's his wife, Edie Adams. It says, in an era before reliable TV ratings, Ernie Kovacs playfully implored his audience to send him photographs of their TV screens so that he'd know whether anyone was watching or not. So these are ones that he received. Now this is actually Bob Hope's hat and shirt that he wore, and his military ID.
Big deal. Flies in, nothing takes response and flies away. Hell, I've been doing that all my life.
Create these great shows that were right.
Sing a little bit, brave beautiful woman over.
Would make fun of people in higher positions.
Then we'll check out the Carl Reiner room before we go upstairs in the elevator to the blue room. Wow, it starts out with photo albums of Carl Reiner performing as a young man. And what he performed in the Latin Quarter, the Schubert Theater, Call Me Mister. And over here he has, I mean, there's a lot of stuff in here from different parts of his history that's from radio, and I don't know much about that, but This is from The Jerk, and I love The Jerk. So they have the OptiGrab glasses that he wears that they end up suing Navin Johnson for inventing. Russians Are Coming script he was working on. Here are his bound scripts from things that he did. The Man with Two Brains, you can see Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid, Oh God, all that stuff, The Jerk. So those are his scripts. And then these are dailies pages from The Jerk, you can see. And of course Navin Johnson. And the Barbie doll. Now this is just absolutely incredible. They talk about the friendship between Mel Brooks and Carl Reiner and how, I mean, they just spent every single night hanging out together until, you know, of course, Carl passed. And they were the best of friends, and so they actually moved their hangout room into here. You can see there's a picture right up here of Carl Reiner sitting in the padded chair and Mel sitting in the chair next to him. And you can see, if you look at the pattern on Mel's chair, right there, and the chair that Carl's sitting in, you can see they have the pattern chair right here that Mel's sitting in with his TV tray, and Carl's chair with his TV tray. And they have a quote from Mel Brooks that says, "Carl was the greatest audience. He was always Carl, funny, sweet-natured, warm, and just the most wonderful friend a person could ever have. People know how good he was, but not how great he was." And Carl Reiner said, "If you have one good friend, you're lucky, and I have one good friend. My life is fuller because of Mel." And Carl Reiner definitely made some great TV. You can see all the awards that he has here from it. Of course, like the Dick Van Dyke Show and this. Says he was among the most winningest member of Emmy Awards in history, with 12 awards for his work as writer-performer spanning from 1956 to 1995. Reiner proudly displayed the awards on a high shelf in his home, leading his friend Mel Brooks to quip, "When I visit, I have to sit in a place where the sun doesn't strike them or else I go blind." When most of the awards toppled during California's 1994 Northridge earthquake, Reiner embraced the damage that was caused. "I like it when they were crashed. The balls were off of them and the wings were off of them, and they look like abstract sculptures. They remind me that life goes on. These Emmys have lived." They were repaired pretty well. I've looked and I don't see any real obvious damage. Here's his Kennedy Center Award. And a letter to Carl from Billy Crystal. And a letter to Carl from Steve Martin. As well as one from Lucy. This blue letter is from Lucille Ball in 1961. Carl and Mel's Grammy Award, the 2,000-year-old man. Speaking of great things he did, this is great. You have some Dick Van Dyke stuff. You have the Big Bad Brady hat, his toupee from playing Alan Brady, his Dick Van Dyke Show scripts that he had bound, as well as his record player down here. And then you have Maury Amsterdam. It's his, is that a bass or a cello? Have his bow tie over here. And Rosemary's costume from the show. Now we'll see if there's anything in the blue room that we can share with you. That's the Dirty Comedy. I think we found it. Here is sexual liberationist Rusty Warren. Case dedicated to her and her clothes. Performing at the Aladdin, censored comedian in her day. Oh, neat. George Carlin's actual Carnegie Hall dirty word scroll that he's holding during the special. I'm gonna go fast so I don't get in trouble for some of the words on there, but there he is holding it and reading it. It's pretty interesting. I love it. Oh, cool. Talk about historic. Here is Lenny Bruce's trench coat and typewriter. Another groundbreaking comedian for his day, getting arrested and drug out performances. This case is from American Pie. They have Allison Hannigan's band camp outfit. If you know the movie, you know the band camp story. They have everything all the way down to her shoes and her infamous flute. There they have Jason Biggs' costume and the tube socks. It's sticking out of his pants. When his dad walks in, Eugene Levy, you can see there is the scene, and they actually have Eugene Levy's costume from that. The one in the middle was Eugene Levy's. That's not the one from that photo, but that's from the movie. That's the one that he wears. Wow, that's an interesting case. That was a good movie. It's been a long time since I've seen it, American Pie, but pretty funny for the time when I was in high school. Here they're talking about the Dean Martin roasts. And then in here they all have like different censored things. Like I just pulled that curtain and it's like a Playboy cartoon. But if you look at this one and you look through the hole, it's Bruno. Sacha Baron Cohen. This center is definitely worth it. It's a great, great homage to comedy. I love it. Can't forget Red Fox, baby. One of the best. And then here they have an original notice posted on the backstage of 60s comedy clubs where it was telling them to basically artists were not permitted to say certain things on a stage or in a comedic platform where you're entertaining people. Anything should be allowed in comedy. You can't police what people find funny and what they don't just because one person doesn't find something funny. You can't fault a comedian for attempting humor even if it doesn't land and it's not good humor. So as I enter the cafe, I found one of Phyllis Diller's outfits that she wore. They have a photo of her wearing it. And over here by the stage, in this case, one of my all-time favorites, the star of Back to School and Easy Money, the man who never got any respect. They have Rodney's suit, Rodney Dangerfield's actual suit, with his notes, comedic notes and everything for ideas. What a crowd, what a crowd. All right now, last weekend I was in Las Vegas, lost control, gambled, I tried roulette. It was ridiculous. I just sat there for 2 hours hating the guy who invented the wheel. Here's his bag. That is so cool. See his suit. And then over here we have Zach Galifianakis' baby carrier from The Hangover. The actual one. And some of the props from the movie. Then they have Lindsay Lohan's Mean Girls Jingle Bell dress. Then over here, this looks like this is all Brooklyn. Yeah, I think this is all Brooklyn Nine-Nine stuff. I didn't watch the show, but saw Andy Samberg's stuff in here. There's the championship belt from the show. Amy Santiago. Oh, it's got the big gold eagle on it too. Andre Braugher's Captain Holt portrait and pride flag, says. And then there's the cheddar dog. And it looks like this is Terry Crews' outfit from the show that he is wearing right there. And once you finish the tour, you end up in the gift shop, which has all kinds of great comedy stuff that you can buy. And I love that they have Lucy Comedy Festival shirts still. I think I do have to get this magnet though. Pretty good magnet selection. I mean, whoopee cushions, chattering teeth, the Groucho glasses.